Hi guys, Saturday night I'm in the fish room. I'm absolutely goosed. I've just done 3 night shifts and then I spent all day in here doing maintenance. I've done loads of water changes, probably about 1,000 litres out of all the tanks, and I've done a load of pruning. I've probably got 2 carrier bags worth of plants out that I could have given everyone, but every time I say to people, do you want plants, they don't get back to me. So I've noticed a lot of our little community that we're starting to build on YouTube are saying to me, Keith, I'd love to have a go at plants, but I'm worried because I kill all mine. Well, let's deal with it. So this is my tank, what I call my Walstad tank. Obviously Walstad is a method for keeping a planted tank, but you know, at its most basic, it's a dirted tank. Now the reason why the dirt's there is to provide micronutrients, and then when you feed your fish, if you're feeding enough fish food to your fish, then that'll provide all the macronutrients to your plants and it'll keep them healthy. Obviously there's a few little holes going on here. I think it's because we tested all parameters. I don't think it's nutrient deficiency. I think it's damage off the snails. So I've been throwing cucumber in, pulling it out. I'm working on it, you know, it's a work in progress. Rome wasn't built in a day, even the Mona Lisa's falling apart, you know the score. But I'm just saying, you know, it doesn't have to be a high-tech aquascape tank where you're CO2 injecting and running high lights over loads of rock and wood. I know that those things don't grow, so why are you spending all that money on that stuff? If you want to plant a tank, just get the classics, get the basics like these. This is a dirted tank I've just set up, but it's not a Walstad tank. It's dirted, but it's not a Walstad tank because I'm running high lights, CO2 injection, and dosing with fertiliser, and I'm doing 50% water changes. I'm providing an ideal environment for plants to live in, and there's no rocks and wood in here, because if I'm providing an ideal environment for plants, why would I fill it with rocks and wood? They don't grow. You know, get the basics like Amazon swords, Anubias, Java fern, get some cheap basic stem plants, Hygrophila polysperma, Ambulia, Ludwigia repens. I've got Alternatheria, see how that goes on. Got a Rotala rotundifolia, there's a load more down here. Just basic plants, give them a go, find out what works for you. If everything's flying, you can get some more. But don't be scared to experiment, guys. Dwarf lily bulbs, sage, you know, got val at the back. We've got Apongigetans, which I love Apongigetans. We've got Crinum calamastratum down here, you know, Brazilian pellywort, crips, just all the basic plants that, like, classic plants that do so well. You just get them, try them, have a laugh, have fun. And don't be scared because of aquascaping. Most aquascapers aren't really aquascapers. I see aquascapers all the time online who bang on that they're aquascapers, call themselves aquascapers, and I've never seen them aquascape a tank. This is another tank, it's just basic plants. We've got Val, we've got Elodiodensa. Bacopa hasn't been doing too well, but like I'm just going to let it transition, figure itself out, and then once it starts getting going and does healthy, but you know, Ambulia again, we've got Alternatheria. I'm figuring out what is going to work for me. I'm trying to grow out some dwarf sage because I can't get it from anywhere. Got ourselves some basic plants, water wisteria. Check this out. You know, like people associate me as the plant guy at the moment. So this is the water wisteria I got. It crapped out on me, but look, the nodes, it's throwing out new growth. The top's throwing out new growth. It's transitioning. It's figuring itself out. I'm just going to leave it alone and try and help her out. Tanks just get a 50% water change and fertilised unless it's got dirt in. I'd like to dirt all my tanks because I think it makes keeping plants so much easier than fertilising and all that messing about. I know you have to sort your GH and K out, but once you've done enough, you know, if you've been keeping saltwater tanks for years, that sort of stuff is just like basic. So, but the symbiotic relationship between fish and plants, it just filters the water so much better than, you know, these people who keep these big plastic canister filters, which is just a big bucket of bio balls, which, you know, plants, they absorb heavy metals, they absorb nitrates. Your big plastic box that you paid hundreds of pounds for can't do that. I don't care what anyone says, plants are a better filter and they're cheaper and they just make your tank look amazing. I think your tanks look awesome. All I'm saying, guys, plants just help you out so much. They filter all your water, they make your tanks such a better and more healthy place for fish to live than tanks without them. Keeping a heavily planted tank makes easier work of trying to breed fish and shrimp and stuff like that, because it's helping solving problems for you that you haven't got anymore because your plants are filtering the water. microfauna living in there, microorganisms that the fry can feed off. They can hide in the plants and it makes them feel safer, healthy, there's less stress. It's just great. So guys, don't think you'd have to set up this high-tech planted tank with rocks and wood and these plants with weird names. Just try the classics, the basics. Obviously figure out, you got the epiphytes like Anubias, like this one here. Once you figure out that these grow without the roots, without needing burying, your Java ferns, and then you got your heavy root feeders like Amazon swords, lily bulbs, crinum, crips, Amazon sword, your ponds, your geetons, all these things will do well in dirt. And then you got stems which like feeding out the water. Val likes feeding at its roots, Sag feeds at its roots, crips feed at the roots. And then stems like all these here, they want to feed out the water column, so you've got to make sure there's nutrients in the water column for them. And then crenum just doesn't like anyone. This crenum tyanum doesn't like you, wants you to leave it alone. It just wants to sulk, be depressed and live its life. So you just let it live its life, how it wants to live it, and just enjoy it. So everyone who's banging on at me saying, I want to try plants but I'm worried mine die. Next time you're in your fish shop buying expensive fish food, buy a cheap plant, throw it in, and we'll figure it out. Come back to me. If something's going wrong, tell me, and we'll figure it out between us as a community. Take care guys, see you soon.